evening, good morning, wherever you happen to be. Welcome to the 205th episode of ADSN Audio Deep Space Network. Thank you ever so much for being here. We are live, not quite 10 past the hour. We're a little bit on point today. So yeah, apart from everything else, we are here. It's lovely to see everyone. There's plenty of people in the chat. Hey, Thomas is feeling tired, probably hoping maybe the jet lag is still getting there. There's nothing more serious. We have smiling arrows here in the chat as well as Abby. Hello all.
Hello all of you.
Hello. I'm joined by Eon Lake, who is here, freshly fed and watered, and everything's going to be awesome. Yes. Our main event for this week is we're having a look at the new announcement by YouTube in regards to their AI music policy. And we're going to stay away from this whole notion of AI bad. I want to use it as an opportunity to look at next steps and what that means for us independent artists, generally speaking. But before then, just a little bit of a PSA, as they say. For those who are inclined and want to know more, the Ableton 12.4 was released yesterday. As you can see here, it's nice and big and bold in blue. As you can see, we've got 12.4 update on Ableton itself, and then we have Move and Note 2.0, and it looks very exciting. So we are going to be diving deep into that next week. Obviously, when it was first announced in beta, we went through what is all there: stem separation, chorus ensemble, erosion, and most importantly, at least on my end, link audio. Apparently you can get free ideas into your inbox. Not quite. I think I already have those there, but that's okay. So yeah, we're going to be running about that next week. Music to your ears, Eon?
Yeah, I think so. The only problem is I'm going to have to buy another computer to make use of the live link because my studio machine's too old. Shame that, because otherwise I'd be quite excited. Not that I'm not moderately excited.
I think it works with Move as well, though.
True. And I will be updating Move, absolutely. I'm kind of almost more interested in that update, personally. But yeah.
Well, we'll have to see.
Symphonic chorus is always good too. I mean, who doesn't love that?
Exactly. Yeah, like I said, we are going to be diving deep. I've just installed it on my devices yesterday. This morning I was playing around with a little bit of Link, but I want to do it properly, so I'm going to give it another week and just kind of mess around. If there's anything in particular that you want us to look at or cover, feel free just to let us know, either in the comments or in the Discord, because then I can kind of base a show around that, essentially. Looks to be quite exciting. Like I said, messing around with Link between two computers this morning, and it is a lot of fun. It does play around a little bit. It's cool. So I have to say, maybe Ewan, you can have a look at the Move updates, and you can focus on that, and you can tell us what you find in there.
Yeah, auto shift and erosion, 2 effects from live are now available apparently. So
okay.
Well,
we're gonna have to see. So yeah, let us know. I'll put the QR and the link for the Discord in the description. It's there. Just let us know. Put it in the group. There's an ADSN channel there. Also, the link, if you are listening on Spotify or anything else, is also in the description. If you like a good old URL and you want to scan a QR code, that is totally fine. Also, yeah. Okay. Anything else on that, Eon, or do you want to get straight into it?
No, just sorry, Thomas, you're feeling a bit sick still.
Yeah, it's not what you need.
Not good.
No, it's not.
Hope you feel better soon.
Absolutely, man. If only you could put Soothe, we use Soothe plugin VST, and we put it on our music, and it sounds amazing. If only you could just put it on your soul and just feel less sick.
You cancel that yoga class.
Yeah, exactly. Who needs enlightenment when you've got
bending yourself around, breathing heavily?
Absolutely. No need to meditate when you've got oak sounds. So we'll go from there. But yes, this is what I kind of wanted to bring to the table today, and I'll just share kind of my source material so we can all get on. It is from Digital Music News, and basically, um, YouTube is now allowing content creators to sub out copyrighted music instantly for AI generated music. So, when you put something up and you get flagged as something is copyrighted, which means you can't monetize. And if you do it enough, you can get the video taken down or even banned, etc., etc., etc. They are bringing in the functionality where you can just sub it out for something that is AI generated. And this,
Ooh.
yeah, and this took my interest, so to speak, because obviously the initial reaction is AI music, everything is going to hell and all that stuff. And I think that is the reaction of many, but I wanted to kind of come and bring it to you guys so that we could kind of have a discussion about what this is and what this means, and what it means for us, more importantly, because I've been in this space recently of looking things from a negative space and then trying to flip them on their head and see the silver lining and everything, right? And this could be seen as an opportunity. This could be seen as a way forward, so to speak, where we can vector new paths. And I'll get into that. But Eon, having read the news, what do you make of it?
I was lost in existential comedy there for a little second in my head.
Oh, right. Sounds like a good place to be.
My immediate response is, "Oh, who have they partnered with in order to do this?" Because it sounds like a business deal, really, doesn't it? So
it does.
Presumably, they've partnered up with somebody, and I don't know. I mean, maybe for some people this would be kind of useful. I don't know if there are non-music related YouTubers perhaps who instead of having to find copyright-free music and stuff that they can use on their videos, they can just opt for some to be inserted. I don't know. I find myself wondering where it will go. Really, there's a lot of talk about AI generated music that's wholly or partly generated by AI, and I suppose these practices and how this stuff gets handled hinges on the ability to tell AI generated music from human music, which I don't know. Again, where we are now it's just a snapshot. We're at a period of time where that's possible, but I don't know. Is that always going to be possible? That there is a system that will know that whether or not it's AI generated or not?
I'd like to think it's a bit of an uncanny valley, right? Like I had an event, I think it was yesterday morning, and it was tech, elementary, yada yada yada. Doesn't really matter. But what they had was an AI generated song on this initial introduction slide for these kids, right? And that's part of their thing, is that they have to go to Suno or Udio and they have to generate music because that's the best thing to do for education, right? Anyway, point being, without going down that track, is that my colleague pressed play on the slide while my back was turned, and I go, "Ooh, that's AI," and I instantly that's AI, and I've gone. Am I here?
You went.
I did win.
And then you came out. Well, as far as I'm concerned, let us know in the chat who went. Was it me?
I think
or was it him?
me. I think it was
we
me.
should keep a score of this as well. I'm pretty sure I'm winning either way, but that's why I suggest it.
We don't count technical difficulties before the show, just during.
I'd be done if that were the case.
Yeah. There's a long way back. Basically, you're wolves in that notion. Point being, as I was saying, my brain went, "Oh, that's AI." I don't know what it was, I didn't really think about it too much, and it was, and that's okay. But then there have been other times where I've been listening to YouTube in the background, and someone has put it's put an AI track on, and I've been vibing, and then I've realized that it is AI. So it's going to get more difficult for sure, right? But right now, we're in a good space about it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm constantly surprised that AI is aimed at the music market in any sense. You know, if you're looking for a high profit margin, who on earth thought music was it? But anyway, here we are. I think it's got more to do with the fact that it's a challenge, you know, for an artificial intelligence to produce music that is, you know, on par with humans. Is it a good service? I don't know. I mean, do people want that? Possibly they do. I mean, maybe not us, but maybe there are people that, you know, can't be bothered with faffing around libraries and, you know, royalty-free sync music or whatever. And I do think, though, you know, I don't know. I'm inclined to think that it would create a kind of a class of video, you know, that has almost like phone hold music or something like that, you know, where, you know, that became quite pretty much a race to the bottom. It started off with like, it's music on the phone. It could be anything. Could be like, you know, anything from the top 40 or whatever. And then it became just like highly repetitive, extremely questionable music. I think maybe we're doing that, you know. Where's it going? I don't know. The market will decide. Unfortunately, this is all commercial stuff, right? And the market will decide what it wants. And if people start, I don't know, disfavoring or watching videos that use AI music less, then I don't know, maybe it will make less money. It'd be interesting to see what the take up is from an intellectual point of view.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I think that runs in line with a lot with what Frequency Control Center was saying here. It says things will just become more separate. The actual creative art of something and the quick win of AI, I don't really care what it's like option, which is a valid kind of idea to go. I like that idea. I like you said the word challenge, right? And I like that idea. And I like the idea of this being a challenge to our world in a sense, and not in a kind of like, not in a negative sense, but kind of a rising to the occasion. Smiling Errors in the Discord before the show, let me pull it up so I don't misquote, but Smiling Errors had a really good point where it says a creative person will/can evolve their output. They should always be capable of doing something new. Whether they get to be heard in a world of constant artificial output is another thing. So we've got two ideas here. This idea, and I've lost you now. Here we are. This idea that, you know, it is our responsibility and it is our job to kind of shift and respond in a way that is true, both true to ourselves and true to the artistic intent. What is less in our control, obviously, is this notion of whether or not we get even further drowned out by AI. Because I mean, people are seeing it. I mean, again, Frequency Control Center is seeing it in the design model at the moment. This influx of AI, we're seeing it in gaming, we're seeing it in digital art, that kind of thing.
It's in everything, yeah.
It's in everything.
But I think the point that most people, I say people, I don't. More the current thinking, right? The point that everybody seems to overlook is that this is going to be a bait and switch. These things always are. It's kind of like you have a model that is blitz scaled with, you know, investor money. It doesn't make any money at all. You just grow it as fast as you absolutely can in order to take over a market. And then once you've got rid of the competition, you can put your prices up, start turning a profit. So it's a bit of an embrace, extend, extinguish sort of approach. However, in a lot of businesses, you know, that's going to be quite decisive, because once people have realized that, you know, what was cheap and convenient is now just convenient, but also quite expensive. Unfortunately, the alternative is now out of business, so it's the only game in town and job done. Whereas with music and music creation, I just don't think it will play out the same way, because you're not going to stop people from making music just because it's not profitable anymore. Because, well, it hasn't worked so far, has it?
It's yeah. I mean,
More music than ever is being made by us. I mean, equally by AI at the moment, but I mean, it will not stop people from doing it because it's a unique expression of our humanity, of our soul. It, it's yeah, you couldn't shut up if you wanted to. It's not about money, So you're applying a commercial sort of strategy to something that extends beyond that. And I think that in some industries, like music, to some extent, there will be a counterweight that will balance that because of that.
so
So basically, once the convenient option, provided by AI, becomes more expensive because they've got to pay for these data centers somehow, then your previous supplier is still there because they're not going to stop making music. All right, they may not. There may not be the same people in business. People might have to make adjustments, but there will still be people making music to some extent, is what I'm saying. It's not going to squash all competition because people will make music if it makes zero money,
they will. Absolutely. I would. I don't disagree with you at all. People always make music because it's the extension of their soul. I get that. I suppose within the self-eating post-capitalist system where you have to make money somehow, and you have to, and money can be it is pretty much wholeheartedly based on exposure by our point right now, whether that be a reel that does pretty well, or whether that be being put on a playlist, or whether that be putting on a radio mix or something like that. It is that exposure which is fundamentally necessary to the artistic way. Back in the day, it was a poet on the streets of Vienna wandering around writing poems for people. But these days, we are somewhat reliant on being part of the content creation process, be that through collaboration, be that being, or someone saying, "Oh, can I use a track on this?" for example.
Yeah. Yeah, I just think I think we're going to see a more tiered result, and I think it will become a thing in its own right. So it will be a thing of convenience, and maybe some people will welcome that, and that's fine. But I think also it could potentially become a stigma, or an irritant. Some people don't. Oh, I don't really like AI generated music. It really annoys me. I like these videos, but I don't. I find the music a bit irritating. I mean, they may not care as well, equally, but I think it could happen. And there could still be a prestige thing where you want to use the best ingredients. You want real music. I don't know. Am I dreaming? Am I? Maybe I'm asleep right now. I think, ultimately both will exist in the future. Smiling Errors made an interesting point about trying to compare. It's like trying to find the positives in the electric loom as weavers, which is
Good point.
I love the analogy. Nice one, mate. But again, if you look at that analogy, I think the mechanical loom, it's able to produce cloth at a much higher, a faster rate of a perhaps substandard quality, and you still, when you're trying to set up your t-shirts for sale, because that's what we are, right? Glorified t-shirt salesmen, and women, of course. What's the first thing that you see? Oh, well, like organic, you start seeing tiers already, right? And there is still a market for artisan products of all types. Food, furniture. There is a desire, and there's this assumption that human handcrafted something that has been poured over ultimately has more value than something that has been cheaply mass produced. And I don't think that will go away in the future. It will, however, change is inevitable. But
Changes,
there are
yeah.
some things that don't change sometimes, I think.
I mean, yeah, you make a very good point. I mean, we are, in this day and age, we still look for the hand woven and the handcrafted artisan style products, and that people always gravitate towards that because there are some people who disagree with the idea of mass manufacturing, which is again totally valid. I suppose that brings us to the question of, okay, well, where else then, right? Because it looks as though YouTube is going down this road of content creation being AI. I see more and more videos which are AI generated images, which have got a nice Ken Burns effect with an AI generated voice telling a perfectly good audio version of a Wikipedia article, essentially, which has gone through
Mm.
ChatGPT, which is, if you know, if I am trying to remember, if I'm trying to remember some particular bit of history and I don't want to read today, then that works, right? But it doesn't. I suppose what I'm saying is that what that is doing is pushing that artisan stuff out, right? It's pushing that kind of content for the love of it kind of situation. More and more, I see, unless they're already established creators, I see lots of creators essentially. I mean, we've done it for years, play the algorithm game, and have to kind of gravitate towards something which may not be their calling, but knows that's going to generate clicks and hits. So the question becomes, where else do we go?
Well, that's just it. Yeah. Because I think, you know, if something's free, then you're the product. It's gets said a lot, and it's very true. And I don't know. I'm inclined to think that there's a weariness to the kind of output that ultimately chasing money, 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 money ends up with. Because by necessity, it plays to human psychology and becoming more and more polarized and extreme and so on, just to shock and to maintain attention of people who have degraded attention. What I think will happen is we'll just move away to other things that feel more comfortable. I hear lots of people these days who are just not comfortable with social media and legacy ways of sharing what they do from an artistic point of view. And I think it ultimately sort of pushes you towards finding alternatives. I've seen a lot of people trying to set up alternative scenes, where you register a username and you can put your music on there and so on. And the idea is it's a co-op and you own a share in it by being part of it and so on. There are a lot of things that are popping up because they seem to believe that people will be turning away from some of the older platforms in response to just a bit of a weariness to how they've ended up and the feel of it, and whether or not it provides something that ultimately you like and want more of, rather than just kind of a bit hypnotized by.
Yeah.
It could be that comes to nothing, but that it does persuade platforms to start prioritizing things slightly differently. I don't know. I already find like that there's like a set number of voices that you get auto voiceovers in, right? And when I hear one of those voices, it irritates me, and I just want to skip immediately.
Mm-hmm. I get that. Yeah.
I could be a bit of an old, what in that sense, be identifying myself as ripe for the cull, but I don't know. I think a lot of these things, there's a, I think it will settle, find a natural point. The convenience of things, I think, will continue to be used as long as they're useful.
Mm-hmm.
So if you start using convenience tools for your videos and you find that you get less watches or something because maybe they annoy people, This is a lot of ifs here, right?
Oh,
But
yeah.
if that happens, then you'll probably change things, won't you?
I like to think so. I mean,
If there were no take up, then they'd stop selling it. That's not going to happen. But just to use an extreme case to kind of illustrate the point.
what? Okay, on the back of all that, because all that's perfectly valid, and I hear what you're saying. I suppose when it comes to like tangible ideas of, for example, Eon Lake self promotion and putting your place in this world, and this the increasing cloud that is AI coming our way, where does it put you in regards to where you consciously put your art and where you want to be seen?
Now, isn't that the question? It's a question that I'm genuinely struggling with. If I'm honest, my profile on social media has almost vanished over the last couple of years
Mm-hmm.
as a progressive and general reaction to the fact that your music can be used without your consent for purposes you don't agree with. I don't want to train any AI models. I only want to train myself. And because of the way all the distributors are changing the terms of service so that, this is written in and you've already agreed to it and so on, in my mind, I'm kind of writing off what's already there, but
Okay.
I'm not putting any new stuff out. And I would like to share clips of me doing stuff and so on, but I don't trust the platforms that I would put it on not to either use it to train AI models or, have it ripped off in any way, format. Now, maybe that's an exceptionally arrogant and presumptuous attitude, and I'll hold my hand up if that's the case. But I don't trust these platforms. I don't want to put clips on Instagram anymore. I used to do that. I had plans to do stuff on YouTube, but I don't know enough about how well their content ID is going to work. And, I'm not prepared to sign away the rights to anything because it's all I have, right?
It's
As
yours.
a musician, it's one of the benefits of not being tied to a label, to a large organization or whatever, is you own everything.
Mm.
And you might own all of nothing, but it is all yours. And it's a bit of a non-negotiable one for me. So this is where I am genuinely interested in what people in the chat have to say, both on Discord and in the chat for the show. I want to know what people think about this. Is it just me that's thinking about this? The fact that, we've seen these stories of people who have posted like song in progress and then found, a couple of days later that somebody used AI to finish their song and release it and copyright strike the original song, the original video it was stolen from. I mean, that kind of thing's kind of put me off a bit. Is it just me? Do people not care? I don't know.
I mean, absolutely. Yeah, those are some extreme examples, which uh, very much, and for good reason, paint a sordid picture of putting our stuff out on the internet. By that rationale, then we're left with going back to the 60s and 70s, having everything on CD, cassette, and gigging, and then just selling it out in the real world.
There is that. And I do like the simplicity of a lo-fi solution like that. Don't tell the internet, and it won't know. I'd like to think it's not just that isn't the only option, because it feels quite nuclear, doesn't it?
It does feel quite
All of
nuclear.
this stuff is supposed to exist for a reason, right? It's supposed to provide some sort of service, but I think the service has fallen by the wayside, and it is just interest harvesting now and advertising, which
Yeah.
doesn't really work.
Do you think then on the back end of that, because like for example, I mean, take Instagram. Instagram wouldn't be what it is if it weren't for the fact that it has the ability to put music in their videos and to share links from YouTube, Spotify, etc. I don't think it would be half the platform that it was, right? So there has to be a certain amount of user compliance, right? And again, I suppose this comes down to we care about this because we care about this stuff because we're invested in it, right? And we care about this stuff because it's our way of life. Whereas we are somewhat in our own little echo chamber and we're in our own little bubble.
Well, yeah.
And to most consumers, it's not so much of a importance. It's not so much of a knowledge thing. So like maybe there's a spreading the word before hitting the nuclear button. Maybe there's a spreading the word and saying, hey, this is a situation which needs your attention.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't know. I wonder how much my personal finger is on the pulse. I mean, I read a story the other day about how corded headphones are coming back into fashion. People are using them more and more because they just work, right? You don't have any issues with charging and them running out of battery and having
Bluetooth.
the Bluetooth hassle. And I thought, oh, okay. Well, I mean, I can understand that, but were it not for somebody writing an article on it, I wouldn't know that was happening. I wouldn't, and it surprised me a bit. I mean, it makes sense to some degree, but it still surprised me. I thought, the desire is always for the tech, give me tech. But this just goes to show you that, sometimes it's convenience. Sometimes it's just, what people want. Sometimes they don't want what you think they want. People talk a lot about AI, but it's framed entirely from the point of view of companies that are in AI that produce models for commercial use. So this is all based from how can we make money from AI point of view. It's not based from any other point of view that you might have. It's not based in like, is the amount of power and cooling required to create this worth the benefit that it produces? Do you know what I mean? Because again, from the blitzscaling model of economics and so on, it's just like, well, we'll make money later. Let's firstly build it and make it massive, as big, and get it to scale as quickly as possible. And then we'll worry about money. So I don't know, maybe just re-angling a lot of this stuff is the answer. But the thing I take from it all is you never can be quite sure what people are going to want if they decide to express what they want.
It's true.
Surprise you.
They can. I know they can surprise you. I think, people want ease of use. People want things without fussing for it, basically.
Yeah. And the thing is, while all this stuff is going on and everyone's attention is on that, I think there'll be other people beavering away in the background doing something different and doing something, perhaps transformative, maybe. So I believe people will be looking for alternatives. The common way people think about this is it comes in waves. You've had web, then you had Web 2, then you had Web 3. I think people will be looking for social media 2 or 3 and a different way of doing things. And I just think we'll just move on, because as musicians, we've had to be flexible for a long time, and it's all about being flexible.
Yeah, it is. And I mean,
so while they're busy with what's happening on these major platforms, I think other things will spring up that are more interesting and perhaps more useful to us.
I get that. There's a couple of things I kind of want to branch off from that. But firstly, with the spinning areas, in regards to in regards to the nuclear option, the idea of just going to gigs and selling CDs. Mining Area says, then you still need a presence on the platforms to prevent someone from ripping your CD and creating a fake profile with your music, which is valid. Which I suppose you're not at that side. You're more policing things, and you're not investing your time in putting if your gripe is with the the farming of your music or using it being used to train an AI. If you're just policing, then that's okay in that regard.
Yeah, but when I say I don't want it to go towards training an AI, it's not because I expect that AI to go, right, the most cost efficient thing that I could possibly do is bring out the next Dion. I don't think it would ever sort of study my music in order to replicate it. It would just be part of a huge data grab in order to replace musicians, maybe.
Yeah,
It's an ideological thing from my point of view, and other people may feel differently.
I get that.
But yeah, I wouldn't expect anyone to use AI to actually copy me, literally copy me.
I would. That'd be the first thing that I think in the world. We need more Eon Lake.
Well, it arguably still exists. Just don't do anything.
Well, I mean, I wanted to bring up another. We did a whole thing about copyright. It must have been about a year ago now. And my nuclear option on that was just throw copyright out the window, right? If you think about how copyright came out, how it came to be, it's a law very much based in the early modern period, in I think the 1830s, 1840s, or something like that. Someone can correct me, where copyright was to stop people from writing down sheet music, right? And stop making their own versions of sonatas, etc., 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 right?
Well, that stopped. I don't think it was copyright that did it, but
Well, yeah, but
I don't think that's a huge problem these days.
that's kind of what it was based upon, right? And it's just kind of grown from there on out. And we talk about copyright when it comes to things like sampling and when it comes to like interpolation and stuff like that. And there's still a part of me. That thinks all this is just a load of crap, right? This idea that our art is there is this thing that this art is intrinsically something that is copyrightable and that can be legislated. This idea that I've made something from my soul and therefore it belongs to me. I put it out into the world, but also I get a say on what can and can't be done with it, if that makes sense. And I might be in the minority here. This might be a bit of an unpopular opinion, and half of it is academic, but it's also something I still meditate on. It's like when I put the in the wake of light, right? I put that out into the world, right? The album means a lot to me, and I put it out into the world. But someone listening to it is going through their filters and going through theirs, and can mean something completely different to them. And it's not really mine at that point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's not. It's not. It's not. Yeah. Smiling Arrows is saying it for me in the chat, but yeah, it's also not. They take it down to the market and sell it. They're just using it themselves. So there's ownership and there's ownership, but copyright doesn't really exist for that. Copyright exists for those who have a lot of money to protect that revenue.
True.
More than the little people like you and I. Although it's supposed to extend, of course, everything the same. I think Sony and BMG and people like that would have a lot more interesting copyright than we would, perhaps.
I get that. Does this then affect your relationship with the idea of, a content creator comes to you and says, "Hey, really like Deep State. Can I use one of the tracks on my YouTube channel, for example?" Would that affect your decision making in that regard when it comes to copyright, scalping, etc.?
Yeah, I've declined it in the past.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, I said thank you, but no thank you, because they wanted me to give them certain rights, and it's a no.
That's
unfortunately.
Fair. Oh no, I mean it's not unfortunate. It's your decision, isn't it?
Yeah, and again, I'm not trying to make a huge amount of money or anything. I'm just doing something that I love. But at the same time, it is important to me, and I'm not just going to hand it over so that, you know, somebody else can benefit.
I get that. That makes sense.
So I don't know. It doesn't really change anything in that regard. And I suppose Smiling House is right about, you know, even if you're not using these platforms yet, it's probably wise to maintain a presence and a name. There have been a few new platforms that came out that I registered for and saved my name so that no one else could.
So you've got an Eon Lake account just so that you can have yours.
I'm cyber squatting on a few services, that I don't use, but I have an account.
It's good practice, I suppose. It's great practice.
That could get dull though, because there are a lot of them. Yeah, I don't know.
Is it a losing fight in that sense then?
I don't know. That just made me think of the Bruce Lee quote. In order to lose, you have to first, I don't know, accept the idea of defeat.
Right. Okay. Yeah, totally fair. All right.
I mean, you can put quotes around lose and define it however you will, and it depends how you look at it, I guess, is the answer to that. It's not an answer, really. It's a bit of a cop-out, but that's kind of where my head's at.
That's fair. That's totally fair. I mean, if it's at the end of the day, we're all doing our own thing, right? And how and where our music goes is, like you say, if we're not part of a label or anything like that, fundamentally it's down to us.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you can be willful and capricious about it if you like, if you get the opportunity. It doesn't have to make sense.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't at all. We'd love to know what you guys think about this.
Yeah, particularly about putting music out in this day and age, you know. Seriously, is it just me that doesn't trust social media platforms not to harvest something from anything that I share? You know, it's yeah, I'm even thinking about the meta tags and information on videos and stuff like that. There's, you know, you're giving them your location and stuff. Is it just me? Do I need to get a tinfoil hat and some therapy?
No, I mean it's valid. It's valid, isn't it? It's valid. It's like I go back and forth on this myself, and I still put my stuff out there, and I still, you know, I've got an active social media presence. I do advertise my music on social media, and you know I make videos that's got my music underneath them, and I do that, and you know, just part of me is like little old me. You know, I'm just here doing my thing, and I think about the idea of my work getting scalped, and I'm like, okay, sure, you know, wouldn't make the AI, you know, dry heave or anything, but I do go back to I default to the conversations that I have with people who are human and are not part of, you know, big music or anything like that, and they're genuinely, you know, they have a resonance with what I've done, and they, you know, they appreciate it, and I, on that kind of human to human scale, it's like, oh, that's cool. I can do that, you know, and there's a space for someone to, you know, feel a little bit better throughout their day.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
One final thing before we move on today. The dilemma is exposure. After you've been heard, you can retreat to your own servers, straight to consume, like Amon Tobin. But what if?
Yeah.
But what if no one knows that you exist? Which is a fair point.
Yeah, but this sort of thing was done before the internet.
Again, also valid. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, there's definitely. I mean, it's a common argument. You hear it a lot, and you hear it even more from those that are totally bought into the streaming hustle, and you know, very into Spotify particularly, and they don't see what they're doing as redundant in any way. and they would say, well, I tried Bandcamp, but it's no good for promotion. And I wouldn't necessarily say that that's wrong. It's probably a good thing. Yeah, maybe there is an argument for having some sort of exposure, but I don't know. It feels a little bit like turkeys, voting for Christmas.
Yeah. Which, if you're outside of the UK, turkeys are
Could be Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it could be Thanksgiving. It's a fair point.
And maybe you need to strike a balance, but yeah, there is more than one way to, rise to some sort of prominence. And I don't know. I believe quite a lot in the concept of 1,000 true fans. Right? I don't want to be doing a Taylor Swift here. That would not appeal to me.
I'd love you to be twerking on a big arena stage.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely going to get some of the boots, but God, that's a horrible thought. But the idea that you don't need a massive following, just a relatively small following of people who are actually genuinely loyal and interested in what you do is all you need. And that makes more sense to me, really. That's the kind of popularity I would be chasing, and that's the sort of thing that could be more scene related rather than, with this tool I can reach everyone in the known universe and have them casually listen to me along with billions of others. It's just not a strong argument to me. Sorry.
That's fair.
I know it's worked in the past and will continue to work for some people, but I find myself not really buying into it. And I could be wrong. I reserve the right to be wrong at all times.
Yeah, I mean, we all do. I think it's a good thing to do. I'm curious. I'm waiting for Stillhead, who pops up and says, "I was quite pessimistic about AI a few years ago." I'm wondering. I think most people are wondering, have you changed your mind, Stillhead?
Yes.
And tell us more. Why don't you? I'd love to know.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to think the whole resource thing will balance what it's used for. It's like, yes, you could use it to make a video of a dog skateboarding, but is that a responsible use of the resources required in order to create it? And if the answer is no, in a world where water is going to become increasingly more important, even without the advent of AI, then maybe we'll start to think a little bit more about what it is we're doing.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I'm similar in a similar regard. I used to use a precursor to AI to in my previous job of essentially making sync licensed music. You're essentially using it as essentially a fancy sound selection tool and fancy automation lines, etc., etc., etc. But you were kind of curating the track, right? You were curating and you were, instead of writing 2 or 3 tracks a day, you were writing about between 10 and 12 tracks a day. The idea of it being, you set all your parameters and then you, like I say, you curate these sounds that come through and the songs have a similar structure, etc., etc., etc. And that was fun, not gonna lie. A lot of fun, great fun. Learned a lot. I struggle. I mean, I work in a school where they're pushing AI, and so I've played around with Suno, I've played around with Udio, that kind of thing, and I just don't get it. I just don't get the fun of it. You know what I mean? Here we go. Still follows up. But now I view AI as an opportunity for the real artists to stand out in the sea of AI garbage. Whoa, yeah. There's the challenge, right? That's the challenge, right?
I wasn't expecting that.
How wonderful! Thank you for sharing that, Thomas. Absolutely,
Yeah.
I inherently agree. That is the wisdom of the show. Genuinely, like this idea that you know, this is an oncoming challenge. It is an ongoing challenge for coming, and I'm like, I'm ready, man. Like, have you seen what I can do with an arpeggiator? Like, come on, you know what I mean? It's a little bit of
We love
a.
our arts, don't we? Both of us.
It's like I do. I was having a completely different context, but I was having a conversation with a mate at the weekend, and it's this idea that you can see the cloud come in. You're like, all right, let's dance. You know, let's have a dance and let's go for this. Let's give this a try because as soulless as AI garbage is, even a good AI track can never replicate the connection that you get when you listen to another artist with their who is bearing their vulnerability on canvas, so to speak. And I just, you know, it just makes me want to be more vulnerable. It makes me want to be more expressive, and it makes me want to be more adventurous with the things that I'm doing.
Well, that's a good thing, I guess.
I
Yeah.
suppose so.
I mean, it only needs to be unprofitable to fail.
Yeah, absolutely. It's fine. I don't care about money. It's fine. You
Can
know,
I
money.
use it for something else instead?
That's fine. You know. If I have my way, money won't exist in the next 10 years, so we're okay. But you know, I'm still holding up for that. Thomas follows up. First, we thought nobody would ever again hire a photographer or pay an artist for an image. That hasn't happened yet. And the same regarding music, which is fair. Again, another fair point. I don't think it's all doom and gloom. I just think we have to come at it. You know what I mean?
But yeah, we also need to remember that, you know, this is music, and were it not for AI, there'd be something else coming along. It's always changing.
It's true.
You need to keep your eyes peeled and see what's what.
Absolutely. Keep
what's
our eyes
happening.
peeled. Yeah.
But I do think that there will be a bit of a renaissance in meaningful human interaction in the real world.
Well,
and things like that will start to count for more. Yeah. Performance may be more of a thing.
I get that. I'm hoping, on that note, that Survey Channel got a recording. He did a gig at the weekend.
Yes. Yeah.
Absolutely. I did. Plans on working for free and hoping that my landlord feels the same way about rent. Maybe. I have to see. I do like my landlord. He's a good guy. I have to see. But yes, I think, anyway, coming back, Survey Channel did a gig at the weekend. And it looked fun. And I hope that he posts a video. Survey, if you're listening, is that going to be a thing? But I mean, I hear you. And I think, right, human interaction, more live shows. Again, that ties in with electronic music gear just being more and more portable. I don't. Have you seen? It's not 59 Perlin anymore. He's rebranded. Rosen something.
See, I'm thinking Rosencrantz, but that's
Anyway, he's rebranded, and he's going to Super Booth this weekend, and he's got an entire setup, and it's in a bag, and he's taking it with him on the flight.
Yeah, I really liked it's got power supplies and interfaces mounted underneath.
Yeah,
stands that have the thing. I liked that. That was clever, very neat.
Yeah,
and appealed to my. I did like that. It was very, very organized.
Very organized indeed.
And compact. But yes, I had seen that actually. Yeah. I've not heard it yet though. I've only seen pictures of what he's come up with. I haven't heard any performances yet.
It's going to be back to front if I show it. It is. It's Rosencrantz.
Oh right, it is. Right,
it is Rosencrantz.
Yeah.
It's his surname. So yeah. So totally, it's getting more and more portable. We don't really have an excuse. More gigs, more project management, but that's okay. That's fine. Let's move across. I want to, in the name of talking about the community things, we kind of stumbled into this.
Speaking of humans making music.
Speaking of humans making music. Absolutely. I'm gonna Shady Ridge put a couple. I think it's 2 weeks ago now. I mean, what we doesn't matter when we are, but a new track, a new album by RSN, Perpetuity #1, out on Shady Ridge Records. And this is definitely your kind of thing, Eon, because we've got two tracks here. Perpetuity 1.1, Perpetuity 1.2. The first track is 19 minutes and 43 seconds, and the second is 28 minutes and 13 seconds.
All right.
All
Yes.
right. Absolutely.
Long form stuff.
Long form
We
stuff.
like that.
Absolutely. It's released on 24th of April. Perpetuity 1 is a work of floating depth and meditative expanse. The album unfolds like a continuous breath in which the most diverse ambient layers are gently superimposed, interwoven, and yet flowing freely. Initially delicate and tentative, the sounds build up layer by layer into a dense acoustic fabric. As the pieces progress, the movement slows down, and the textures become denser and gradually glide into a monumental drone state, a seemingly endless moment of sound, vibration, and space. God, that sounds good. The music never loses itself in monotony, but instead thrives on subtle changes, barely perceptible movements that seem like wind in a vast landscape. Steve, please stop doing that to my rug. Towards the end, this massive sound structure begins being dissolved again. A shimmering, barely tangible, iridescent shimmer remains. It is as if the music is evaporating, returning to the nothingness from which it came. How's that for a blurb?
Sold.
Absolutely. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the link in the chat. It is already in the description if you want to grab it. The track is 19 minutes long. We're not going to play 19 minutes, but we'll play a few minutes just to kind of keep it going. Yeah, so let's go from there. We'll start at the beginning, might as well. So we'll see you in a little while.
Lost you a bit there.
That's because I muted myself. There we go. What a beautiful bit of ambient going on there.
Yeah, it feels like it's just getting started, really, as well.
Well, I mean, there's another 15 minutes there. So
Exactly.
yeah. Still Ed, I'm working on a mix, and you guys started this track. I've been frequency sweeping to find that ringing frequency. Can happen, Still Ed. Sorry about that, man. But it does happen sometimes. Yes. Very much an album that looks like it takes its time. In a world of virality where things got to be done in 3 seconds, it's beautiful to see something that just evolves and takes its time. So that's definitely one to explore in totality. Absolutely. Any thoughts,
Yeah,
Ian?
I'm gonna have a look at that one. It definitely appeals to me. I do like something long form that can hold your attention as well. So we'll see. I'm kind of fond of the label as well, I have to say.
Yeah. Everything. I do love a bit of
Everything
Shady.
about it as well. Even the design looks like something I might have done. So
I was thinking it's very
definitely up my street.
yeah, it's very deep state in that regard. Yeah, it's cool, man. It's what you need. Link is in the description, and I've just put it in the chat if you want to go check it out. Support Shady Ridge Records, always putting out something fascinating, different. Josh does a wonderful job over there.
Yeah, and if you like CDs, there are only 8 left.
Go get a CD. Go get a CD. Have to see. That brings us towards the end of the show, Eon. What have you got in store for this week?
Fun. I'm still messing around with modular stuff in software.
Oh yeah, like VCV.
Yeah, fixed VCV. So I'm still using that. It's got I've got all the Instruo modules in that. I love Instruo stuff.
Nice.
And I'm still using Softtube modular, but my MS-20, I don't know, for some reason it was only this week that I clocked properly that it's got an envelope follower on it. Because I mean, it's got an external input. On most synths, it's an external input, so you can put it through the amp stage and the filter, so you can filter things, which can be fun, right? Especially if you've got oscillators and stuff, and you can sync it all up and whatever. But the MS-20 is a bit different in the sense that you can play it with a guitar. I don't know if you've ever seen that.
I haven't. No.
It will determine what pitch you're playing, and it has an envelope follower, and you can play the synth using another instrument if you so choose.
That's cool.
But what it also means is, you can do what I've been doing, which is get a drum machine and plug it into the external input and use the gate triggers from that, the envelope follower from that, but still use the keyboard for the pitch.
Oh, okay. All right.
If you deterministically patch it, because the keyboard's normal to the oscillators, but you can, but if you plug something into the external, it overrides that. But you can repatch it, but still keep the envelope follower from something external. So I'm going to be messing around with that as well. Obviously, it means you can do it on an MS-20 Mini and a Behringer K2 as well.
Okay, you'll have to report back on that because it sounds like a fascinating little exploration there.
I'm just hoping I'll get more rhythmical leads out of it, more interesting tonalities as well.
Oh, okay.
So I've got lots of experiments to do this week. I've got lots of ideas to work through, and it's been quite a productive last week for doing stuff anyway. So just keep it up, keep going, do some more experiments. It's fun.
Experiments and play, right? No expectation about an outcome, just seeing what happens when you do this.
No, just regular steps towards a goal. If you take a step a day, you'll get there.
Yeah,
I always did before. I always will now. I've been working in the mornings more as well, which seems to work better for me.
Okay, so fresh your face, that kind of thing.
Yeah, if you're like me, you have busy days and you end up very tired by the time you finally get a chance to do anything. Maybe just go to bed and get up early instead and try then.
Yeah, that's
even if
another.
it's 10 minutes to half an hour, you know.
Yeah, just doing something just to make the morning yours, so to speak.
Yeah, and it's a better way to start the day. It's better than doom scrolling.
Absolutely. Yeah. Breaking the fourth wall. Beautiful.
What about you?
I have opened up the trove of tracks that I made during a transdimensional passage on a Masonic Balchuan. God, I haven't said that in a while. And so I've got a load. I've got a load of tracks which I wrote while I was producing that album. So now it's time to go back and produce those and start opening up those little boxes.
All right. Well, I take it they just weren't Balchuan enough.
They weren't what? Sorry.
Balchuan enough.
Oh, well, it's kind
or Masonic enough.
well, it does. It's like when I'm producing an album, I'm usually also tweaking the hardware. It's usually like when I'm figuring out that and how that works, right? And as it evolves, I write other tracks. And this will eventually, I believe, I haven't decided yet, but essentially, I believe it's going to tell a bit like what I did with Fragments, where it's going to give me some insight into what's lying beyond Masium, which is Masonic. The adjective of Masium is Masonic. And I hope it's going to shed a bit more light on that part of the universe, that kind of thing. Or it might not, and it might just be a bunch of tracks that I wrote, and yeah, I don't know. Haven't decided yet, but I'm gonna. It's the first time I've worked with beats in a while. It's all been very ambient, apart from the stuff that I've been doing more up tempo and more mushroomy.
Yeah.
It's the only time I've been working. First time I've come back for drums in a while, so that's fun and challenging, and yeah, that's fun. It's cool. So I think that's what I'm going to do. What I've done is I've taken everything off of the main laptop that I wrote them on, bounced out all the stems, and I've put them on this laptop here. So, and everything's internal, right? So like I can take it anywhere. So I might go do a bit at a tea shop. I might go do some on the tram. I'll do some at work, in a meeting. I was in a meeting the other day and I was just sitting there tweaking a saturator because why not? That kind of thing. So hopefully no one from work is watching. But hey, I love what I do. Anyway, so that's my job. That's my for the next couple of weeks, and going to go through the new 12.4 because I'm really excited by the idea of Link. I'm really excited by the idea of Link.
I'll be having a look at the move stuff.
Yeah. So if you are still here and you are watching and you're interested, you're an Ableton user and you want me to or us to look at anything in particular, please let us know. Head across to the Discord, put it in there, then I can have a look at it, join the Discord community. And thank you ever so much for being here today. You could be anywhere in the world. You chose to spend your time with us. Really appreciate it. If you want to show your support and keep the lights on, that is the QR code to our Patreon. Pledges start at as little as $2. Don't have to, but if you wanted to, the option is there. Everything's a decision and everything is your decision. So if that's your decision, that's totally cool. Thank you ever so much for being here. Eon, any final words to the people before we go today?
No, just thanks for the company, and please remember to tell me if it is just me. Do let me know so I can seek appropriate help for my rampant paranoia. But otherwise, thank you for being with us.
Yeah, absolutely. Group therapy sessions are in the Discord as well. It's always a good place to be. We'll be back next week. Hope you have a lovely one. And